Hey fellow nerds and geeks, my name is Slavko and you're watching The Mini Mason. Today I'm going to show you how I built this first in the series 3-in-1 modular building. It can be a ramshackle cottage. Pop this out and you have an old decrepit barn. And you have your classic stone ruin for your favorite tabletop game. Follow me. I start by measuring out and cutting a 4x5 square grid. After scoring it lightly with a blade, I widen the gaps with a pencil. To enable my 32mm miniatures to fit inside the squares, I choose to make a 1¼ inch grid instead of a more traditional 1 inch. I really like the look of 4 boards per square, and to have a semblance of uniformity, I start by scoring the squares in half and then in quarters. When drawing wood grain, the foam has a nasty habit of expanding ever so slightly. It's good practice to run the pencil through the slits to redefine those crispy lines. If you follow along, you'll need a few bricks, maybe just a few more. To get rid of those sharp edges, I perform a crushing action with my hands. They lose the hard edges as you rub them against each other. Yep, said it. For the bricks, I'm using XPS foam. For those that may not know, it's the insulation you find in the walls of your homes. Because I am a forgetful individual, I textured the brick walls with a rolled up aluminum sheet and did not record it. Balsa wood is the material of choice for the door frame. I'm using a knife and a pencil to texture wood to look like wood, and in my head that totally makes sense. Here I drew a squiggly line that I'm gonna use as a cutting guide, and I'll score that portion of the floor and use a curvy sculpting tool to pluck out that portion of the floor that I spent so much time texturing. Planning is my forte. I'm using different sizes of aggregate to simulate different sizes of aggregate, and at this point, if you don't see how genius I am, well, stick around, there's more. Here I'm using a miniature base and an LED to make a fire that lights up. I'll put a link in the video description to an amazing tutorial by Tabletop Witchcraft on how to make your own. Sticking a piece of foam board behind the wall and tracing around the bricks will give you the outline to cut so that the two pieces can stack up. I eyeballed the height of the walls by putting a miniature next to it and just made sure that it looks right. Once all my sides were cut out, I textured them in a similar fashion as I did the floor and glued them together after lining them with coffee stir sticks to make the walls more rigid. I also glued the stir sticks on the cables, rafters, on the pointy ends of the walls. It gave me a bigger surface to glue the roof and it joined the two flimsy bits together. I'm using chipboard for the base of the roof. You can see here that I put some crossbeams inside, but I end up taking the bottom ones out. They didn't do much and were getting in the way. I also glued a block of XPS foam inside the roof to act as support. Again, balsa wood textured bits to simulate battens and stir sticks for boards. I only needed to expose the ends of these because I will be gluing stuff over it. I've cut out and textured pieces of foam core as wood to hide where chipboard and stir sticks are apparent. I also add some boards here and there across the wall to add detail. You can also see I've cut out some holes in the wooden walls for some extra flavor. This is synthetic fur. It's the best product for lazy people who care about aesthetics, and I am a lazy people who cares about aesthetics. No, really, it saves you a ton of time while still looking good. Just slap on some PVA glue and slap that fur on there. Oh, and be mindful about which way the hair flows. Now for painting, I start things up with a mixture of Mod Podge, black paint, and water. This goes over absolutely everything except that little LED. Now, I did forget about that, so I had a nice time scraping off the paint. For the rest of the painting process, I'll put up the information on the screen, but basically it's base coating, picking up a few bricks with different colors, overbrushing, applying the main wash, dry brushing, black lining, and some more washing. And now I'll shut up for a second and let you enjoy the vibes. And with those last little details added, it's time for the fancy pants shots. If you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for sticking around. And if you could go a little step further and do that YouTube mumbo jumbo of like, share and subscribe, that will mean the world. And on that note, see you later, alligator.